Man United nil, Manchester City nil, and what a bunch of bottle jobs. What a bunch of bottle jobs we have just sat there and watched. Absolutely embarrassing football from two of the biggest clubs on the planet. Pep Guardiola, we're going to talk about City later and how dreadful they looked today, how they had no impetus, how they didn't try and attack Man United, but they were poor. Man United is sitting there with the opportunity to jump into the top four, and not one positive substitution was made. There was a like-for-like change, Martial for Greenwood, but nothing else. Ollie did not have the confidence, the cojones, and the foresight to take away a Fred or a McTominay and bring in a Van de Beek, to go for broke, to go for the win. And I want to see that from Manchester United Football Club massively. For me, I'm genuinely had enough at this moment in time with this football club. That's how I feel in this particular moment. The players today, awful. Every single Man United player today was awful. And you'll see the agendas. You'll see the agendas out there. You'll see the Maguire made a silly at the beginning of the game. No, in the first half, Maguire lost the ball to Gabriel Jesus about 25 yards out, mad. You had Pogba trying to dribble, standing on the ball, falling over. Bruno today, ball rolling under his foot. Rashford, opportunity at the end, played in by Bruno, bad first touch. Every single Man United player today inexplicably losing a ball. Manchester City weren't much better. This was one of the worst football matches I have ever witnessed in my life. And we will get on to Pep a little bit later, but I am a Man United fan, so I'm sticking with my boys right now. It was embarrassing. And Ollie, if you don't have, if you're going to turn into David Moyes and lack the confidence to go for it, because you got things right to begin with, you nullified Pep Guardiola. I mean, Ollie, this is where it annoyed me. Ollie nullified Pep Guardiola and made him change his style today. They didn't want to commit men forward because they were scared of Ollie's counterattack. That's great. But there comes a point when you're a Manchester United manager. When you're a Manchester United manager, when you're a Man United manager, what you have to turn around and do is go for it. Last 10, 15 minutes is fine, but there was nothing. We were passing the ball around with 10 minutes to go with no desire to win. I don't think that's acceptable, ever, at any point. Maybe if you don't want to concede a goal in the second leg of a Champions League game or something, but not in a Manchester derby, not at home, and not when City were poor today. And I'm sure City fans are sitting there thinking the same thing, because he brings on Ferran Torres for Mahrez, but again, leaves two sitting DMs on. It was just negative from both of them. And we'll get on to Guardiola later, because Guardiola's a genius manager. He's not a PE teacher. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm just embarrassed of my football club, point blank at the moment. And today was just another nail in the coffin. Another moment where you think, how far have we fallen as a football club? When we come up against the worst City team in 4 or 5 years, and we don't try and beat them at Old Trafford. And I don't want to hear any nonsense from anybody about Bruno was poor today, Pogba was poor today, or Maguire today. The whole damn team, bruv. The whole damn team were rank, were dog breath. Viagra FC, because they were limp. Proper limp dick motherfuckers today, every one of them. It was just absolutely shocking. You know what? When you go at a team and you lose, there's an element of frustration, but at least we went for it. Today, that draw, it's like non-alcoholic beer. It might taste similar, but it ain't the same damn thing. It's not a result. For me, there's no positive. I don't even feel like right this moment, the point is any good. United were just poor today. It wasn't even about there being no system, because there was. The system was there to nullify and counterattack. We made Pep Guardiola change. But then you come to a point in the game where you've got to go for it. You've got to say, right, we're Man United. We're going to win this game. And it didn't happen. And that for me was shocking. That for me is weak. That for me shows no guts. And do you know what it comes down to? I know a lot of fans thorn over technique and ability and skill, and that's a lovely part of the game. But I want to see fight. And there was none of that from my team today. It was shocking. It was embarrassing. And it was meant to be a derby. It was meant to be a derby. It was meant to be a derby. How was Pogba poor today? I think the whole team was poor. Everybody had good moments. I know what you're doing, ITS, because you're an ability man. Pogba had, and I tweeted about it, there were 2 or 3 touches and turns in the game where you're like, wow, that doesn't make it a good performance. That doesn't, those intricate little moments of brilliance don't make it a great game. What about the 4 or 5 simple passes that went to Man City? What about where we've got a counter-attack on and he stands on the ball and falls over it? Those things cancel out those good moments, and outside of that, it was average. Every single Man United player was average. I ain't picking on Paul. I ain't picking on Pogba per se. The whole lot of them. They all did some good things. You know, Harry Maguire, he got that block on the KDB chance that he was going to bury and put away. But that was it. Like, that doesn't get him any more than a 6 out of 10 for me. That 1 or 2 little good moments. It was poor. If you want to convince me otherwise, you'll get the chance to come on the show very soon. Super Chat here says, this game put shame on the term derby. I hear you on that one completely. Boring game. Wow. Expected more. Totally agree with you. 110. A lot of people in here saying Bruno was poor today. I agree with you. You never hear me disagree with things that are true. Like, he was poor today. I am angry with the whole Man United team. I don't scapegoat individual players. I ain't weak like that. I'm telling you now, there's certain YouTubers, certain Twitter bots. I could, if I wanted to be a little bit smarmy, I could tell you what players have tweeted about during the game without even looking, but ignoring the mistakes of others. Every single player today was rank average at best. I had COVID this past week. It was better than watching that match. Do you know what? Shouldn't joke about illness, but there's an element of that that's actually making me chuckle. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. But another super chat here. I know we've had that super chat already. We're going to get some of the panel want to have their say on the match. We will be talking United. We are going to talk Man City, though, because for their riches and for the quality of Pep Guardiola, they are a legitimately shocking team at the moment. Shocking team, all things being equal. Let's get the panel on. Do me a favor and smash that like button. Over 2,000 of you tuning in right now. Please hit that like and share button. Let's get the panel on. Let's do this. Yes. We've got KJ, we've got Cam, and we've got, look at that fresh trim there from Neek's bruv. Looking, brother, see that new trim?
Listen, I was at the barber's while the match was on. I was in the chair for like some of the game. I didn't miss much, did I?
Nope.
Bruv. Honest to God, the only thing that stops it being worse than some other games this season, like Tottenham, etc., was the fact that we didn't get beat, but we were so poor today. Who wants to go first on their views on that?
I'll go. You know what? Yeah, Terry, I heard what you're saying, and you're a bit pissed in it, which is fair enough. But I disagree in terms of I'm not actually that vexed because I didn't expect anything more than what we got today. If you went into this game expecting Man United to beat Man City how they used to do, or what they did last season, to dominate the ball and be stuck in and get tackles, I'm sorry, you're deluding yourselves in that. You need to remember what we are as a football club and as a team. This is what we are. And what Ollie did today, yeah, where I blame Ollie is the fact that he didn't change things. He didn't try and make things better. He didn't bring on any substitution like Van der Beek to try and open up the game a bit more, because City were there to get got at the end of the day. But if you told me at the start of the game you would get a draw, I would have taken the draw, because right now this team needs that. For what I saw from the team today wasn't necessarily quality, which is frustrating. I was very unhappy with the fact that they couldn't keep the ball for more than 5 minutes. But what I saw together was togetherness. And that is probably more important right now than it is beating Man City, making us look like we're super sick again. Because normally after these defeats and after we exit like we do in the Champions League, we normally heads drop, heads go down, and we just end up going on a bad run. This could have been the start of a very bad run, but it wasn't. So I would take the draw, and yeah, I would actually relax a bit. I know it means a lot because it's a derby, but chill, bro. You know what I mean? There's bigger games and better games to be frustrated about.
And you know what I agree with you on is result-wise, when I've calmed down, I'll agree with you 110%. I will on result-wise. But do you know what I'd say? The only caveat I'd throw in there to what you've said that I disagree with is, before the game, I might have taken a draw. But when you're in that moment, in that match, City were poor today.
True.
Man City, and I heard the commentators saying throughout the course of the game, oh, this is weird to see a City team play like this. And I'm like, do you know how many games this season they've struggled to score goals in? City have not been a good side this year.
Yeah, but I think
done a lot more.
But I think it's both teams went out really and truly not to lose this game. I think it's more. And I think the fact that City went with two DMs, two defensive midfielders, showed that they were willing, they were happy to take a point. They were willing to really go out there and just come away with a point. If they got a win, if they got a nick to go, then they would take it. But not losing was more important. You saw similar in the Liverpool-Man City game. The first half, to be fair to them, it was kind of end-to-end, hell for leather. But in the second half, they both just said, yeah, you know what, we'll take this. We'll just keep moving, we take this. And I'm not mad. Like I predicted a draw at when we did a preview, because I felt that both teams had their frailties, both teams had their strengths, and also spoke about the fact that Pep wasn't going to be so foolish to go and attack us like he has game after game after game, knowing the threats that we got on the counter-attack. So he just said, you know what, we'll settle in. If we got the quality to win it, we'll do it, but we're not going to give anything away. And, they had the two defensive midfielders there to stop any possible counter-attack that we had. Both teams had a chance here or there. You might think we could have done better, but I mean, as bad as Man City are compared to how good they have been in the past, 3-4 years, it's still a good team, and it's not a bad point.
I hear a lot what you guys are saying. I get it, and it's logical and it makes sense, and it's not like an eye test type comment, if that makes sense. It's like a logical thing. I just feel like in the moment, though, in certain games, you've got to try and step up and take the impetus, and City were there for the taking.
Yeah.
And towards the end of that game, if we'd have gone for it and lost 1-0, I'd have been happier than sitting back.
Nah, I disagree. I would have been pissed because we had a good platform, to go and win the game. But if we had lost it in the dying moments, you just undone your hard work like we did in the Champions League, and it just be a repeat of what we've been doing. So for me, it's like I'd rather come out with a draw and build.
See, I hear that. But the problem I have with that mindset is that over the course of a season, if you play too many games for draws, I feel like you lose out. Like if you play 5 games on the bounce, 5 games for draws, and you draw all 5, that's 5 points. You've only got to win 2 of them to have 6. Now, I know you're taking the risk and you might lose all 5, but it takes 2 wins out of those 5 games you go for draws in, and you have more points. I just feel like when you want to be, and this is the point I would go to, I want my team to try and win a Premier League title again. Premier League winners, title winners, people that win major trophies in those games get the job done. And I just felt like we didn't have the want to go and do it. Cam, what's your view and opinion on it, mate? How are you feeling after that result?
You're muted, bro.
You're muted, bro.
Sorry, same as you, Terry. I'm not as raging mad. I didn't realize muted. Sorry, guys. But like when I saw Greenwood going off, I was upset. I'm like, listen, we haven't seen that front three that kind of dominated the second half of the season for a while, and this was a good chance to bring on Martial, take off one of our defensive midfielders, and go for it. I kind of agree with you. It's like if you play too many of these games for draws, like we saw this under Jose, it doesn't give you the opportunity to really go for it later. And something that I've been thinking about when we're looking at like our home form right now, they're going to let fans back in the stadiums at some point, and when they do, all our big home games are not. We don't have those games anymore, so we're going to be at a disadvantage if we're going away. Even if it's a couple thousand fans, we've lost our home advantage completely. It's like Old Trafford feels like a training ground where teams come and at one point we were kicking the ball back and forth for like a minute and a half. Honestly, it's like I had a hard time watching this game when it comes to the way we set up for the draw. We didn't, and it's fine. I get what KJ's saying. The point is cool. I expected a draw, but to see us go for a draw and not even try to get anything out of it later in the game killed me.
But that's the part where I'm frustrated. I am frustrated. I would always during the game, I was watching, it's like, yo, we can't keep the ball for 2 minutes. Like, come on, keep the ball, get better. And then as the game went on, I was screaming at Ollie to make subs, bring on Van der Beek, bring on some attacking impetus. But he didn't. So then for me, at that point, I was like, right, this is not going the way I want it to go. What is the best outcome from that? And the best outcome was to get the draw.
Let me ask a question. What was more important, us winning the game or us not losing the game?
Us winning the game, I think.
I disagree. I think on the back of the RB Leipzig, it's not the fact that we lost the game. We lost the game and got knocked out of the Champions League in the same action. I think on the back of that, not losing this game and with our home form as well this season, I think not losing this game was more important than winning this game against Man City. Of course, a different team is different.
And I get that, Neeks. And I also get exactly what KJ was saying there about we didn't make the substitutions. You went into the mindset of, okay, well, we haven't done that, so I'm just going to accept the element that happens afterwards. That might be part of Vibes FC, just to go with a little more. And I get that. From my point of view, it was a case of we didn't make those changes, and it was like, oh, we're not going to try and win the game. I just don't like that attitude as a general rule. And I get your point, Nick. If we'd have gone for it and lost the game, people would have been kicking off and people would have been moaning. But people are kicking off and moaning anyway. It doesn't actually change the landscape. For me, I just want to see my team, when there's an opportunity to win it, go for it. And we didn't today. And that kind of weakness is definitely a worry. We've got a few more people we're going to throw into the stream. Get your super chats in, get your retweets. It's mad, actually, because I'm been a bit... It shows how my audience is used to me being quite positive, because they were like, what's wrong with Terry today? He must have been thinking. No alcohol in me today. So it's a weird one. Thanks for that stereotype.
The reality is, Terry, both teams got battered early in the season. Leicester beat them 5-2. Spurs beat us 6-1. And both managers, and rightly so, have made concerted efforts since that point to be more defensively solid, especially in the Premier League. I think we've got one goal at home since then. Like, no, I'm just not mad. I'm not mad.
Yeah, I'm not mad.
I completely agree. I completely agree with you. And I think that in terms of that, on Man City, because we spoke United, we'll go back to them in a bit. On Man City, have you ever really seen Pep Guardiola, change his style as much as he's done this season to not try and attack people? Pep Guardiola was as negative today as Ollie. There's no doubt about it. The guy didn't try to win a football match. He wasn't playing football. It isn't the first time this season. Are there problems at Man City? Or is it just we're going to ignore it because it's City and no one cares? Because this ain't the first time they've been this rank average in a game this season.
I've been saying this about Pep for a minute. He always has. Sorry, can you hear me?
You're a gal.
Okay. Oh, cool. Pep always has the best of the best.
I can only hear Danny out of one
ear.
You Danny, can only hear me out of one ear.
Yeah. I think something's wrong with your mono, not still stereo.
I can hear him on both, to be honest.
Oh, okay. It might be just my headset.
I was the same, but
Terry, can you hear me in both? Because if Terry can't,
I can only hear you in one, but I can hear you.
Do you want me to come back out and come back in, or
try that for us, bro? That'd be cool.
All right,
try that for us. I've got a few super chats to do here first. We've got bits and bobs of this as well. Neil here says called it before the game. Neither team wanted to exert themselves. There was a win to be had, but both teams happy with the draw. Neither team worthy of winning Liverpool FC's title. I do hear that one. For Ollie, it was more important not to lose. For United, it was more important to win at Nice.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's exactly a good point.
And I'm probably looking at it from a Man United point of view. And maybe I've got this stupid thought in the back of my mind somewhere deep lying of pushing for the title or going.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
That's what it is. Danny,
100%. If you're going to win the title, you should win a game like this. I don't think we're going to win the title, so that's why I'm not thinking that far ahead. Maybe that's me.
I hear you on that. Let's go to some of the new people in here. I'm going to go to Aaron first of all, mate. What was your
thought? 90 minutes of my life I will never get back. It was an absolute ball fest. Obviously, as a United fan, I'm annoyed that we didn't try and go for the win, but I'm actually annoyed at both Pep and Ollie. They made this game so boring, man. Like it's unusual for Pep to not try and win the game.
What?
What's that?
Aaron, what are you chatting about? What do you mean? Oh, you're annoyed at Pep? You should be happy about Pep. You should be happy.
Yeah, but usually, but I'm saying this because usually he goes for it. Do you see what I mean? Like this is the first time. This is the first time I'm seeing
team, bro.
Because if he would have made it exciting, then at least we would have had something to do as well. Then our counter-attacking football would have been perfect to use in this game. Mm-hmm. But because they didn't use it and they basically sat back as well, and we don't know how to break down teams, so what was the point? It was boring, bro. It was absolutely boring. So yes, I'm annoyed at Pep for not using his attacking football to make us use our counter-attacking football.
Yo, you wouldn't have been saying that if we got Pam, bro. I don't get that point, bro. Like you wouldn't be happy if Pep was pamming us 5-0. You know what I'm saying? Because
Of
he's on
course not.
form. You
Who
want Pep
would
on
have been
form,
happy?
fam. You want it, bro.
I wanted what? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
You would want Pep to be off form against us. That's what you want. You don't want an on
No,
form
but his
Pep.
point, no,
You know
but
what
his
it
point
is?
is, if
Aaron
Pep
just,
went for it, we had a better chance of winning the game with our counter-attacking football.
Exactly.
That's what he's saying,
The thing
and I
is,
agree.
and the thing is, this
Well-
City team today weren't even that great, so we could have won the game.
But you know what it
Yeah.
is, Cam?
They
Do
haven't
you know what
been
it is,
great all
Cam? Aaron
season.
said the exact same thing after PSG. He's like, I'm disappointed in Tuchel's tactics. Would you care about the opposition manager's tactics for? One the
Bro, I
opposition
love
manager.
look, the thing about I love football, innit?
I know
Yes,
you
it
love
was a
football.
derby,
I
but
know.
I know you love football, but when it comes to
Aaron,
I love football.
Aaron's a different breed in the
Oh,
sense. I was thinking about not Aaron per se, but you know, we're talking here about sort of the NBA kind of style fan where I'm not saying you do this directly, Aaron, but like some people support players more than they support clubs, as an example. Some people love the game more than they love a football club. I honestly think, and I'm calling you out here, Aaron, I think you love football more than you love Man United.
could be the case, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's just
Which is why fans like you don't understand why fans like me love a passion merchant who fights for the badge. Because I love that Man United badge more than I love anything else outside of my children and my family. It's it's everything. So that's maybe why we have these clashes. It's an emotional thing.
yeah. Let me just finish my point on the game. I was surprised that we only made one change today. I didn't actually realize it until I checked the stats after the game. We only made one change. I think it was Martial for Greenwood, and for the rest, that was it. Like, I feel sorry for Donny. Yet another game, he's not playing. I don't know, because we've all sat here and said we don't know what he has to do to get in the starting lineup. But literally right now, nobody can tell me what he has to do to get a start in the Premier League. I literally do not know what he has to do.
All right, let me ask you a question, quick, Aaron. In terms of the starting line, because I agree that he probably should have come on at some point. We're one sub, like that doesn't make sense. Especially you got managers like Oli, like Pep, talking about 5 subs. Both of them only made one. Thank you. Believe in your barber, innit? Believe in your
Come
barber.
on, man.
But in terms of the starting lineup, considering the opposition we're playing, who would you have, if Van der Beek was to start, who would you have started him ahead of?
I would have started. Sorry, I would have played Van der Beek instead of McTominay, and then put Pogba in that McTominay position.
I think that's a bit risky against this Man City side. You're then going with one defensive midfielder and expecting him to hold it down. That's the thing.
Are we not Man United? Are we not meant to take risks?
But respect Man City.
Is this not the talk of our manager?
Exactly. Thank you, Aaron.
No. See, but I don't agree with that completely, because we've played, even in our peak. Remember, we used to play Arsenal, and we said we can't play Arsenal like their football. Park Ji-sung, Welbeck, Randall Rings, what's his name? Wayne Rooney drop in, Ronaldo just stand up there and just wait for the ball. But what I'm saying is, even at our best, we still thought about the quality of the opposition. So I don't think we can just say, especially at this point, let's just play all our attacking players.
On Bits and Bobs' comment there about football's change, you know what? 2 years ago, people told me that Jose Mourinho's style of football will never achieve anything. At the moment, he's flying high top of the league, and Simeone's top of La Liga. This whole thing, football's changed. Do you know? I remember my dad. I thought he was going to slap me in the mouth once when I was talking about like styles of football that are brand new. My dad's like, "You an idiot? That's from the 50s. It's just being reused. There's no such thing as football's changing. The only thing that's changed in football in the last 30, 40 years is diet and fitness levels. Everything else, tactics, formations, money, of course, but." This stuff ain't new. It's like when youngsters go, "Oh, look, flares, Dad. Flares are fashionable. They're a new type of jeans." Bruv, John Travolta, man. Go watch Saturday Night Fever. That's where we're at with that one. Egal, I want a neutral's point of view. What you saying, bruv?
Listen, we already know about Manchester United's issues, but one thing you guys haven't addressed is Manchester City are not the same team anymore. We're witnessing the decline of Manchester City. We're witnessing a team that needs to re-strengthen. They need to regroup. And this team is the team just a couple years ago where Centurions, a year before that, 100 points. Like, these guys have fallen down a lot. And losing players, actually not being able to replace guys like David Silva and guys like Company when they left. And even today, John Stones getting the start over Laporte, who's supposed to be the second best center back in the league. Like, let's talk real talks, guys. This is not the same Manchester City team. They are no longer in a title race.
I agree.
Opinion. They have they've dropped down a level to this. It's Liverpool, and then it's everybody else now. and then Arsenal at the bottom.
So why are they getting away with not beating this Man United team that's so bad?
You know
Because
why though?
Pep's in
You know
charge.
why though? Because
Exactly.
the media have already put this on everyone's heads. They've already said Man City and Liverpool are the best, and they can't really change their tune so quickly. They need to still back what they said.
No, it's true because
no.
as recently as last season, they were saying that Man City and Liverpool were the best two teams in the country.
They can't-
So
they-
they
though.
now can't like flip flop and like a few months later say that they're
Yeah,
not
but
the best team in the country.
that's
anymore.
my
They can't say
point.
that.
If you're one of the best teams in the country, and this has been labeled one of the worst Man United teams that they've seen, how are they getting away with not beating us?
Like
Not
Danny
playing
said,
effectively?
Pep's in charge.
KJ, I just told you it's because of Pep. And the point I was making before I left was that if you look at Pep's career, he's always had the best of the best. Always had the best technical players, the most intelligent players, etc., etc. When I saw what City did in this window in the summer, I was like, they're not moving forward. David Silva's retired. Aguero's injury prone now. Company's gone. You've seen the decline. Pep, we have no evidence of Pep overachieving with a group of players ever. We don't have the evidence, and that's what we're seeing right
no
now.
evidence of Pep rebuilding a team that's been great, dropped a little bit, and gone forward. And in the last 12 months, factually, him and his City team have performed worse in the Premier League than Ollie and Man United. They've lost more games and have accumulated less points in the last 12 months. I was looking at that statistic earlier. Now that isn't like something for Ollie to stick on his fridge at home and say make his wife proud. Yeah, pull out the red panties or anything, because it isn't like we've been ripping up trees. But it's an embarrassment for Pep because Ollie's considered a PE teacher and Pep Guardiola is considered a genius. It is highly embarrassing. There's a comment here for one of my members. I'll read it out. It says, "Football is the reason why you love Man United, Terry. That's stupid from you."
What?
I know.
Let me respond. Let me respond. No, I fell in love with football because I saw Man United play football. Man United made me love football. So it works that way around for me. By the way, if Aaron loves football first and gets angry at Pep's teams, and even when they play his own team for not playing good football, that's down to Aaron's allowed to love football in the way he wants to love football. I don't have an issue with it. I was simply pointing out maybe that's why we look at play. Maybe that's why I care more about a player fighting for my team than he does, because I care more about my team than I do football, where he might care more about the tactical element of it. That's just people. People love football for different reasons. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple and as straightforward as that. But without Man United, I wouldn't have become a football fan. It's as simple and as straightforward as that.
Quick question. You guys always talk about Rashford, and I think he's a good player, but is it time? Do you find at times it's almost tunnel vision-esque? He should maybe do a little bit more with his chances. Maybe take the extra.
Gal, I've been saying this, bro.
Rashford.
He's not even naturally left-footed. Why is he taking that first time with his left foot?
Yeah,
he's
like,
a very trust me. He's a very good player. He's a very good player. Yeah, I think him and and Greenwood they're very good finishers at our club. Yeah, but I just feel like sometimes Rashford, he's just too head down. He's not aware of what's going on around him. Like, he just wants to do whatever comes in his mind first. And I know I've said that you can't give Rashford time to think because he's got to do things instinctively. But sometimes look up. That's all I'm telling Rashford. Look up. Look at what's around you. If you don't have any other option, do what you want in it. But look up, man. That chance that you just talked about, Agal. Like, there's no need. Why'd you go for it first time left foot? Like, too many times, and I've said this before, and I've had many arguments with Terry about it, where he just runs into traffic. Like, look up, look at what's around you.
I get you, Aaron. I get you. Today was frustrating. I thought he should have come off over Greenwood because Greenwood had a better game, in my opinion, today. But we could say we've got the same issue with Bruno at times. Bruno he has an idea in his head.
Happened a lot today, innit?
And he'll just do that. He'll just make that decision. Yep. But no one gets on to Bruno about it because he's Bruno. It's the same issue.
Hang on, guys.
I get on to him.
You do, but
it's also about confirmation bias, because I'm a wanker. I sat here and did the stats every time a player lost the ball trying to create something in a forward position today. Bruno lost the ball more times passing the ball forward than Pogba and KDB today. But no one notices KDB and Pogba doing it because you're not watching for it. Rashford certainly makes mistakes, and he certainly has tunnel vision at the time, and he certainly misses chances. But he is not missing chances disproportionately higher than other elite level football players that play in his position in the Premier League. So he does do those things, but so do other players, and you're not watching. Do you know how many chances I see Mane missing games? Nobody's
going to bring Mane up.
No Mane wasteful. And no doubt Rashford had 2 or 3 poor games on the bounce, but he almost won a penalty today. But that's another discussion for another. I told you Walker was a disaster waiting to happen. Didn't everyone saying to me yesterday you're a hater? No, I know what I'm talking about.
Yo, guys, speaking of stats, I'm seeing one here right now on my phone. The last player to score a goal from open play at Old Trafford for us was Donny van de Beek.
It's been eight hours.
It's awful.
It's not even going to be.
That's
Like,
crazy.
10 minutes against City.
Guys, one sec, guys. We
That
are
was against Palace, bro.
guys. Just we'll go into that. In a
First
sec.
game of this.
We are awful at home. There's no doubt. On the
Wow.
Rashford thing, I'm the first one. I'll be first to criticize him when he doesn't play well. He doesn't. He hasn't played well in the last few games. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. But that's also very normal. There are 2 players I can think of, attacking players that play in that kind of front 3 attacking roles in the last 10 years who would predominantly go 3 games on the bounce, would never go 3 games running without performing and scoring. That's been Messi and Ronaldo. Everybody else does what Rashford has done. They have like 2 or 3 game period where they're like, I've not been great. But I wouldn't be surprised if Rashford in the next game gets a brace or something. That's just, I think it's normal. I don't think when you look at it statistically and you watch it and you're subjective in what you're, or more objective in what you're doing, not subjective. Like Rashford's had a bad few games and he deserves to be criticised. But I see people calling him out in the comments saying, see, Terry, I told you he's never going to be good enough. He's had 2 bad games on the bounce. That means I'm right. He isn't good enough.
He literally came off the bench last week and changed the game along with Bruno. He literally came off the bench last week.
Yeah, the West
You
Ham
can do
game.
that. You can do that.
Brilliant.
I'm not questioning the fact that he's a quality player. He's very direct, but sometimes what you're good at can also be your Achilles heel. He's very tunnel vision, and I feel like sometimes his football IQ has not developed to a level where he can bring other players in.
Igal, tell name me.
I don't disagree. When you look at
his 1 second, let me finish. My whole point was, I feel like if he could bring other players into play more, you guys would say, "Oh, Rashford is all around a great player." But yet, that's what he's missing.
All right, but then equally, if Martial ran in behind more, then he would have another string to his bow. Like these players are different. Martial is not a player who's going to run in behind, break the line in the way that Rashford does. Greenwood is not going to do the same. These are 2 different. They're all different types of players. So yes, Rashford, I agree, he's not perfect. He does have a bit of a tunnel vision, and when sometimes he has a mind, I'm going to cut in and shoot. So the overlap is literally just a decoy. But today, he could have cut in, and he would have cut into 3 City defenders who were closing in on him. He decided to take it first time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different styles of players. I don't think not bringing people to play is going to stop him being a brilliant.
Also, I'm going to be quick. Also, when Rashford was focusing on bringing players into play more when he was post lockdown, people didn't like that either. People were like, why is he doing that? That's not his game. He needs to start running at people. So he can't win. He can't win.
All I'm going to say is this with Rashford. I don't disagree with a lot of what's been said about him. Again, most players at the highest level of the game have flaws. They have elements that they're not good at. It's very, very normal. Like Michael Owen, his pomp, was a great goal scorer. Nobody moaned that he wasn't a great creator, and that he had tunnel vision. He didn't bring other people into the game. You know, a lot of Liverpool fans moan about, Mo Salah, though, he's so greedy. I wish he would pass more and bring more people into the game. Every player has their flaws. I just feel Marcus Rashford gets over-focused. I didn't see anybody tweeting about bad decision-making when Paul Pogba should let the ball run past him to Greenwood. It would have been clean through on goal. But yet no one says, poor decision there by Pogba. And my only argument back to people that say that Rashford is disproportionately less intelligent than others is please quantify that and show me that in proof. Because there has to be something, if he's that much worse than others, that he isn't doing that players in his position at the same level. So that must, whether it's creativity, we run the numbers, didn't we? When we started comparing him to other goal scoring inside forwards, there's nothing about his play that's disproportionate statistically. So show me something quantifiable that proves that compared to players in his position in other top teams, in other top leagues, his intelligence lacks so much. Like you can do an eye test, you can do an IQ test in life. And if I get 140 and you get a 70, we know there's a disparity. But can somebody show me how we prove this thing with Rashford? Because at the moment, all I see is a few anecdotal examples of when he does it in games. And we only bring it up when he does it. When he goes on a 7, 8, 9 game run where he's scoring lots of goals and creating, everyone's silent about him. He has 2 games where he doesn't play well. And it's like, see, I told you he ain't a great player. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think that's a witch hunt for a player in the same way people go after Paul Pogba. And I defend Paul Pogba with all my heart, and I'll defend Rashford with all my heart because they're my players and I love them. Man's back again with the football love thing. Says football first, Terry. What I meant was, without football, there is no Man United, and without Man United, there is no football. I hear you, bro, and we don't need to get deep on this. I understand.
The suffer over the football team. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. I understand without football, there is no Man United. But what I'm saying to you is, I fell in love with football because I fell in love with Man United, and it was that way round for me. And
that's why Terry finds it hard to watch other teams. It is what it is.
It's why I could never wear another team's football kit, because I love my club first. And the only
but see, that's where it's different, because like where I grew up, like it's normal. One of my friends will be in the summer holidays, let's say, we can meet up from Monday to Friday, and from Monday to Friday he have a different tracksuit from another club, but just because of the it's fashion, let's say. Do you see what I mean? So it's fashion, it's normal. So someone can support Barcelona, but you'll see, I'm not going to say Real Madrid, but you'll see him in a PSG tracksuit because it looks nice and it's Jordan. Do you see what I mean?
No, I understand that, and I get it. And I suppose for me, like if my daughter was dating a guy and he told me he was a Chelsea fan, and I see him in a PSG kit, I think, look, if he can cheat on his football club, he'll cheat on you. Dump him.
I think the different leagues okay, though.
It's not, and I'm deep on this. I will deep this one. If you buy a PSG kit, if you buy a Bayern Munich kit, if you buy another English, you are financially supporting their endeavors as a football club. You are making things easier. So
you're going deep, bro. You're going deep.
It's so deep.
I don't know, man. A million non-PSG fans buy a million PSG tracksuits. How much money is that for PSG? That helps them fund the Mbappes and everything else. Why am I funding another club?
What about this?
Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm in your camp.
Again, Terry's absolutely right. I'm making other teams better by buying. Yeah, you know.
Okay, Terry. I'm not. Do you know what I'm saying? If I buy a basketball shirt, does that mean I'm funding their what is it? Their transfers or their moves, their trades or something?
You are. Yes, you're giving them money, but it's okay because I don't know if you support a basketball team.
Come on, Lake Show every day, man. Come on.
Okay, cool. So I look this way: hockey, right? I'm an Ottawa Senators fan. I never watched a hockey game. I was working in Ottawa. I got taken to a Sens game, so I decided to support the Senators. I will not wear another hockey jersey because that's the team I support. And if I buy a Ducks jersey, or I don't really know any other teams anymore, Maple Leafs. If I buy a Maple Leafs jersey, I am financially supporting a team that challenges and rivals mine. Why am I doing that?
Would you fly Emirates?
What about if it's
hungry? It's mad.
What if it's a legendary player, though? What if it's a legend?
That's a good point, Cameron. That's a good point.
Because I own a Messi jersey.
What?
So what if it's a legend, like a Messi or
no? I wouldn't. Boys, on a level. You guys can do what you want. I'm sweet. I'm just saying.
As soon as Terry said, "I'm not gonna," it's not that deep. I knew.
You know how bad it is, right? If I work for Barclays Bank, like if I was working at a bank and another bank offered me a job and I moved, I'd shut my bank accounts down with Barclays and move it there because I'm so loyal to people that back me. And things I work out, I'm like a sticker rock.
This is the difference. Sorry, Miguel. That's a good point, actually.
Would you fly Emirates?
Would you fly Emirates, fam? Would you fly Emirates?
It depends. It depends on where I'm going. If there are other options, so I also try my best to avoid major sponsors of my rivals.
That's a good point.
I'm looking for the cheapest flight, or the one that I can afford and that's comfortable. I don't give a damn. For example, if Chevrolet started making planes, but it's cheap like EasyJet, I'm on there. Thank you, Ed Woodward.
Buying lawnmowers.
I tell you what I do though. It's like if I go into a shop to buy beer, even to this day. Like Carlsberg's one of the would only happen if there's nothing else there because they sponsored Liverpool. I won't buy them.
You know, Terry had to switch. Terry had to switch to Vodafone because he had that 3 contract, and then Chelsea came in.
No way! But I'm that petty. I do my best to not financially support rivals as best I can. Like it's hard because obviously, like the clubs have so many sponsors now. But I've gone the other way with Man United. I purposely don't buy. Sponsors anyone who sponsors. I used to drive an Audi, and then Man United. When I did my home, I changed to BMW because Audi sponsored Man United. I'm like, no, I'm not
lying.
Terry, have you cancelled your Sky Sports?
No.
Okay, there we go. That's the big one.
Main reason being it's my job, but I hear you because they obviously pump money into Man United. I do get that. You get that. But
actually, yeah, you should always stream then.
But then no, because that's I got a prison for that. But that's illegal. Is it? I don't know.
Listen, if we'll be on the channel giving out hashtag free Terry.
Free Terry.
No, Terry's good.
Yo, Terry, you were talking about people being just watching out for negativity with Rashford. They do the same with Maguire. Can I just read out his stats from today's game very quickly?
Yes, he was good today, man. He was
100% tackles won. 100% aerial duels won, 5 ball recoveries, 3 interceptions, 3 blocks, 2 clearances, of course, 1 clean sheet. Like, people are always going at this guy, and I just don't think when he has big performances, people highlight them enough. Like, he's a good defender. He's a very good defender.
Really well, yeah.
Without that block of KDB's today, we lose the game. Like that was a match-saving moment.
Yeah.
But then I also thought like he had so many like dodgy passes, and I mean he did lose the ball to Gabriel Jesus, and if that would have been someone like Aguero,
Can I just say, Gabriel Jesus is Cameron, peace out, man. Gabriel Jesus is absolute trash. Like, oh my God.
What's with these fraud Brazilians in the Premier League?
He is dead.
Fraud Brazilians. You got dead. Jesus. Yo, you're not even a Christian, fam. What are you doing with that? Yeah, Gabriel and Jesus, fam.
How do you know this?
Yo, listen,
man's.
You've got Joe Linton, fam. Joe Linton, bruv, in the Premier League.
I listen. That pass today was. You know what I'm saying? That was Neymar-esque.
I like it. And then you've got Firmino goals, bruv. And then you've got that fraud Edison, who's a midfielder in nets.
Edison was dodgy as well today, you know. Like, what that distribution today was horrible.
Do you know what's mad, right? I know I'm annoyed about Man United today, but when you look at Man City, like, it's just, like, before we end the show, focus on them because Chelsea have kicked off. Like, Man City legitimately dog. And at the moment, with the way City are performing, it's more embarrassing than Man United in the sense of they've got very good owners. They've pumped in even more money than us. And they have, outside of Fergie and Jose, in my opinion, they have the best manager. They have the best manager of the last 30-odd years. And they're worse than the PE teachers, Man United. That, just City fans, like, it's so embarrassing. And in all the previews, I can't release a video I made because we didn't win. But this video I made, I was dancing in it, bruv. Like, it was. I don't know what. If City lose a game between now and Christmas, I will release it. But I edited out all these previews, all these City fans talking about how they were going to destroy us today, 3-4 goals. And I'm just sort of sitting there. I kept my powder dry. And I'm like, I'm just going to wait. If we beat you, I'll do it. But 90% of what I thought would happen ended up coming true. Like, they were going to struggle. They really struggled. Like, I predicted a 2-0. I was trying to City. I was trying to tempt fate the other way. Like, I put my title in for this show. Ollie's a bottle job with 20 minutes to go, trying to tempt fate for us to win. Because often I put a title in, like something. Like, I put it in the other day, Man United out, and then we scored 2 goals. I was like, oh my God, I'm keeping the title. We might come back. But yeah, I'm so superstitious like that. It's crazy. You know what's funny with the comment section here? The younger fans like, Terry, you're mad not buying other team sponsors or shirts. All the older viewers are like, nah, Terry, 100% back you. It's clearly an age thing. You young'uns have been brought up badly. That's all I'm going to say.
No, you know it's age. It's FIFA as well. It's FIFA as well. Obviously, you play it as other teams on FIFA, so you end up liking them.
No, I'm not having that.
It's true, KJ. Yeah, because so many teams, people I play, they're like, oh, I'm going to, who do you support? Or support Man United. I'm like, how can you go flipping Dortmund or something? No.
Hear me out.
So I'm really on that.
I've been playing FIFA since 1997, and I've always played with other teams. So I play Man United when I can.
But Neeks, it depends. Like, people do career modes and get so attached to the career mode with this team that they end up buying the shirt.
No, KJ, do you know what it is? It's because people are more fans. People are more fans of players now. The younger generation, they just admire players. Who are the best players from the best teams? They do it with their own team, and then it translates to a foreign team. Like, come on, man. When you play Neeks, you will know, man, play FIFA. Man will get PSG 5, 6, 7 times in a row. I'm like, rah. We're the Liverpool fans. We're the City. Can I get a different team to play? Like, everyone's just gassing City up playing with this.
KJ, I got something to tell you. I'm not gonna lie. I've played with Spurs in FIFA. But the only reason why I played with them was to get them double relegated and sell all their players. That's the only
Oh, that's great, bro.
That's what I do.
Hang on a minute. So I'm getting laughed at. Right?
Manager.
Hang on. So I'm getting laughed at because I'm petty because I won't financially support a rival club in real life. But yet that isn't petty to waste your actual human being time on earth relegating a team virtually on a computer game.
No,
That's a different kind of petty, bro.
Different kind of
My
petty.
petty actually impacts them. Do you know what I mean? Like but
Yo,
you're winning now.
it gals petty.
You actually spent human energy doing that.
Listen, I'm chilling. I was a kid, so I did that. And also, Football Manager, I'm on my phone while I'm on the bus. It's nothing.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? But you know what it is? Like, to that point of you love football or
I'm
you love
weird, man. I'm weird.
like I understand it because I genuinely love football, except when it comes to my team. Like if I like I like Red Bull Leipzig, you know what I'm saying? The German team I like. I would back them until they play Man United, you know what I'm saying? Every other game, cool, let them win. Like let them win. When they play Man United, they can't be winning.
I don't get it.
But
Back them.
As in, if I see an RBL game on TV in the Bundesliga, I'd want them to win.
Bro, I watch Dortmund every week. I never root for them. I just entertain them.
I want them to do well.
I'll root for players, but not.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Now, for me, growing up, obviously, it's Man United all my life. But there's certain players that I do like across the world. So if they're playing at a certain team, I would want that team and them to play well. But as long as it didn't affect Man United. So like even when Patrick Kluivert joined Newcastle, I was like, all right, I don't mind Newcastle in and around. But when we beat you 6-1, I'm gonna celebrate like I've never heard of Patrick Kluivert in my life.
You know what?
I'll never wear a Newcastle shirt.
I've got the same. I've got, to be honest, I've got the same as what's it called, as KJ, because I grew up there, so I've always had not a soft spot, but I like to see Bayern Munich play. Do you see what I mean? But when they played against us, listen, my dad, I don't know you, because he's a huge Bayern Munich fan. I don't know you. Like you sit there, I sit here. We don't know each other for 90 minutes.
I thought we were having a deep conversation, and I was like, oh shit.
What about?
You see what I mean?
That's why I'm forced my kids.
And when Robin scored that goal, I was fuming.
You see?
Bro, and you know what's mad? See, that's why I've got to force my kids to support Man United because I love my children with all my heart, right? Most of the time.
Something reckless is about to come now, guys.
There we go.
Reckless.
I know, right?
It's serious.
Because you started with I love my kids, so that means something.
No, what I mean is like if one of my kids supported City, KJ just put me on big there. I didn't press that. If one of them supported City or Chelsea or Arsenal, on the days that we play those teams, they're not my children. Like I would disown them. Like, Dad, I need school dinner money. No, I'm playing you in football tonight. You're going to starve, you little bastard. Whatever I can do to get in their heads, like you're going to lose. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I get
If they beat us, they're to bed, no dinner. Straight, any crying, the slippers coming. You know what I love about this? I say these things. The modern day world's like, oh my God, he's like abuses his kids. No, it's true. It's not serious, man.
So they're going to clip you up, man.
I would never do that.
But the reason why we say hashtag free fair, though, people. Yeah, see.
I got a question for you, Terry. Football Index. Don't you root for the players that you're invested in?
Do I? That's the difference. I'm rooting for them because it's going to make me money, but I don't do that anymore. I cashed out, and
he's channeling his inner Ed Woodward, fam.
That's the same as me rooting for a fantasy player. I'm rooting for Calvin.
No, it's not. See, that isn't. Your fantasy player does what for you? Oh, I did it. My football index made me 15 grand. That's why I rooted for him. But equally. Do you know what's mad about it?
Ed Woodward in disguise.
I was doing videos and I was telling people who to buy and what to do. There was 3 subscribers only who followed myself to the T. And when we sold it for 15G each, we had a little celebration. It was online because well done, everyone. Out of 178,000 subscribers, 3 decided to trust me, and they all made 15 grand each. So next time I'll give you some financial advice. Take it. But I find it hard as well, though. I do find it hard. So there's a mental strain. Bruv, even when I play computer games, I stopped doing fantasy football on a real level because I know what players you've got to pick to win on fantasy football. You have to pick good level players, right?
Yeah.
I can't. When Aguero was killing it, I can't put him in my team because I'm like I can't root for a rival. So I just stopped playing fantasy football. It made it easier. For me. Yeah, I don't.
It's not even rooting. It's more of if you're gonna win, let me benefit it.
I hope Liverpool lose every game, but they're playing Fulham, I'm gonna captain Salah because and if I see Mane's name pop up, I'm mad. If Salah's name pops up, I'm upset that they scored.
No, I get that. It's a little less deep. So again, the point I'm making there is I've never with the financial thing. It's like I know who's going to make money.
Lads, I've got to leave you in it.
All right, bro. Take care, man. Thanks for going on, brother.
Bye-bye.
Great show. I sort of feel like if I'm going to make money out of it, I can do it because again, my financial endeavors are purely to make sure my children have the most amazing life possible. So there's an end result. And like I said, go back to what I said at the beginning. Gal, were you listening?
Yeah, I was.
Only thing I love more than my football club is my children. So if it benefits my children, like if someone told me now, wear a Liverpool shirt every day for a year and I'll give you £1 million, I'd do it. That's going to benefit my children. That's more important than my football club. So yeah, money, yes. Outside of that, I ain't doing shit for another.
No personal pride or satisfaction, none of that. Like just straight money only.
Well, no, it's not so much that, bruv. It's like the way I look at it is personal satisfaction, pride, health. Everything's easier when you take the sting out of being poor. So when you grow up dirt poor, like I was, if you've got money, all those other things you need to be happy are easier to attain, they're easier to maintain, and they're easier to get through. You know, I had a friend of mine who's seriously ill, but he was very, very wealthy. And I remember chatting to him about it. And he'd only recently become wealthy through some business deals he did. And he sold a company. And he was like, I don't know how I would have coped if I had this illness 10 years ago when I was poor, because not only would I have had the stress with the illness, I would also have been like, how am I going to pay my bills this month? So that's always like, it kind of inspired me a little bit, if that made sense. Like I want to be in a position where if I drop down dead tomorrow, my kids are fine financially for the rest of their lives. So it isn't about me having loads of money. It's about knowing my kids are secure forever. That's all it is. Because I grew up with very, very little. And for me, it was, my dad taught me is just every generation to just take what they've been given by the previous, work hard and elevate it to the next levels. That's all it is, bruv. Yeah, on a real, without trying to deep it anymore than we have done already on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the people in the comment section saying I talk sense for once. I always talk sense. You just don't listen.
I don't actually understand what you were talking sense about. What do you mean?
You basically agreed with me, but you walked around the answer.
Agreed about what?
We both agreed that you don't support other clubs, but at the same time, this generation is different from your generation. So we can agree to disagree.
But did you make that? I didn't remember that point coming up.
I think, Terry, you made that point.
You made that point. I'm just reiterating it in a different way.
But you said I danced around the answer. I don't know. That's what I mean. I'm not disagreeing. I don't understand. What did I dance around?
No, we got to the same conclusion, but you went a different route. That's what I'm saying.
Dance with somebody.
I'm so confused.
I'm so confused.
Right, listen, 0-0, yeah. We get the point.
There we go. I love you, boys. Listen, I'm going to go watch the Chelsea-Everton game. Remember, we're going to be live after Everton-Chelsea. We're going to be live tomorrow for the big relegation battle, Burnley-Arsenal. So make sure you're tuning in for that one, people. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. Is this a football channel? Yes, it is. But the football was so dead today. We've gone on to talking about how much I love my children. And no, I'm not. No, I'm not drunk. And no, I'm not another Ed Woodward, because the businesses that I help run, I run them impeccably, bruv. Listen, everyone who's tuning in, take care. Goodbye. God bless. Thank you, Danny, Bobs, Igal, Neeks, my guy, KJ. Enjoy your evening, brother, wherever you are in the world. Until next time, take care.